Hi guys, this is my Tradescantia. I forgot how to say it. It's also called the Moses in a Cradle, Moses in the Cradle, Cradle Lily, Boat Lily. And it's a kind of Tradescantia. It's probably the biggest leaf Tradescantia I've ever owned. I just kind of thought maybe I'll give it a shot. This is my the first video of this particular plant, and she's already having issues. So she was sitting across the room, maybe about 10 to 15 feet away from an eastern window. She wasn't liking it at all. It just wasn't enough light. And as you can see, because there's not enough light, what will happen is that whatever amount of water you have, sometimes it won't really get ingested or digested as quick as they usually do. And what will happen is that then they'll start to look kind of flimsy like this. That's usually in a lot of plants. So I moved her in front of the eastern window in the same room. I did move her maybe a day or so ago. And I don't really know if there's any kind of improvement yet, but this was always kind of flimsy already, since it was sitting like 1 or 2 days in the well, actually, I'm wrong. I'm mistaken. This was actually sitting like 30 feet away from a western window, and I thought that would be enough. And it was sitting there for a few days. I'm sorry, I was thinking of a different plant. So it was sitting there. So now I moved it in front of an eastern facing window. This just was like just a couple days ago. I'm probably going to have to move this to a different section, which would be closer to a light source. Everywhere I looked, it said it needed bright long hours of it has to be indirect light. So I thought the west window would be okay, and that room had like cathedral ceilings with the window floor to ceiling. I thought it would be enough because if you are thinking of like the brightest indirect, that would have the most number of hours in a day, because it would be bright indirect from like dawn to dusk. So I thought that would be enough, but apparently it's not. So I'm gonna give her like an extra few days to sit in front of an eastern facing window. And if this doesn't work, I have to put her in front of a western facing window, because it's just not working out. So another tip when you're new to plants or you're having issues with plants is like, all my plants always have drainage in the bottom, and I always have a saucer to match with it. If it's the first time you've ever owned the plant, or the first few times you water the plant, you notice that there's kind of water sitting in the saucer. What you will try to remember is how much you gave water to the plant. That means that's too excessive. You always have to dump the excess water, and hopefully the next time you do water, it would be less. So whatever does go through is excess, and that means it's a lot for them. It's okay if you don't let them sit in the saucer with water filled in it, and you could just dump that. However, from my personal experience, they actually do better if there is no water going through the drainage. So if you just give them the enough amount that they do need, they actually, for my personal experience, they actually thrive on that better. I guess because the soil actually dries a little bit more, or much more, versus it goes through the drainage, and watering them more frequently with less amount versus less frequently with more amount. From my personal experience, they seem to thrive with that better. And everything that I do use with this particular plant that will be down in the description section as usual, just like my social media accounts. I hope you enjoy my vlog, that you're going to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and of course the bell, so you're notified every single time I do upload a new video. And this is what she looks like right here. And I'm experimenting with the mosquito bits because of the fact that I have fungus gnats. I will give a full review on that once I am done with all my experimentation. because I've only been using it for a few months, and still for a few months, I'm still using it. And I'm trying to figure out a way to use it as many different ways as possible, because maybe I'm not doing it right, or maybe there's a better way to do it for indoor plants. So I'm gonna try as much as possible for that, and of course I'm gonna share my experience with you guys, so you guys don't have to waste your time on things that probably won't work, or think that it's just not working out for you and it's driving you nuts. So I always try to help everyone out there. So now that I'm looking at her and she looks pretty sad, I might have to change her location. And it has been kind of dreary though lately. And she's very, very new to me. So I don't know. Maybe it's a combination. So I'm going to decide probably within the hour, if I will stick her just in the east facing window. Or maybe I do need to put her in like a little bit far from a western window, but maybe like a plant or two in front of her, and hopefully that will do better. We shall see. The other Tradescantia, like the Zebrina pedula, that one needs a ton of light. The other ones can survive in like far away, bright, indirect light, but you can lose the variegation. But that's with a lot of variegated plants though. But everywhere that I look, they always say, oh, they can't really be next to a window, and this and that. I think it's just more of they can't be next to a southern window. But I think they'll be okay in an eastern window. And they'll be, depending on the variety, they can be okay next to a western window, but maybe a plant or two in front of it between the window and itself, and it should be okay. Again, I'm still experimenting. So far, next to an eastern window, they're okay with. Next to a western window, depending on the variety, they're okay with. Some varieties are hardier than others. So just pay attention to your plant. And here she is, my cutie. Thank you guys so much. And I'll see you guys again next time. Hopefully for an update for this particular plant or a different plant that I do have on my plant vlog series. Bye guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day.